Hi there, welcome back to Pete and Grada from the Purple House Wellness Center in Tasmania. Today's episode is about feeling fatigued and having brain fog and not being able to get through the day without dragging your feet. And this is so common today. We call it a systemic, maybe even a global problem. Many of our clients who come through the door of the Purple House Clinic are plagued with brain fog. They're losing their memory. But they're not having Alzheimer. It's just that their faculties are not functioning the way it used to be, and it's really crippling their life. And on top of that, they're just suffering from overwhelming bone deep fatigue, and maybe you relate to this. And then often they have medical tests done and it all comes back like normal or almost normal. There's no explanation why they are feeling the way they are, why they're so fatigued. And it's like looking for a needle in the haystack. So we're here to give you some different ideas and to give you hope that this can be changed for you quickly, because over the years we've worked with well over 20,000 clients each and seen many miracles, including in our own lives, and we know what it feels like to be exhausted and to have no energy, and we also know how to turn that around. So we've literally come back from the dust ourselves, which is written in several books. I don't need to talk about that now, but we're here to help you. So I'll hand you back over now to Pete. Pete, do you want to share a story first or not, or do you want to explain this?
Well, the brain actually takes 25% of our energy. So we need to give ourselves a good energy source, and our first brain really is in the gut, and it starts, brain fog and lack of energy in the brain starts in the gut, really. Mm-hmm. Now, I had a client come to me, she had been suffering really bad brain fog. It developed into headaches, 3 headaches that she called migraines a week, but they were just really bad headaches. And she was debilitated. She couldn't function properly. And what was happening was the body wasn't able to get rid of the waste properly. And one of the main constituents of digestion is the bile flow from the liver, which is the waste out of the body. So I got her bile, or she got her bile flow going after I put her on the right track of how to get it going, and her headaches disappeared, and she was
over the moon.
Yeah, she was back to normal in quick time. And yeah, it's often when you'll go to the doctor, it'll be blamed on iron deficiency
or anemia,
iron deficient anemia, and maybe people do have lack of iron, but that lack of iron is secondary due to the digestive system not breaking the food down to get the iron out of the food, because there's a lot of iron in our food, particularly if we eat red meats and things like that, but in leafy greens there's also iron. And if we don't have adequate hydrochloric acid in our stomach and good enzymes from the pancreas, or a good gut full of good gut bacteria, we won't be getting the iron from the food we eat. We won't be able to break it down to get the food broken down to its smallest possible particles so our body can have the nutrients it needs.
And so the mitochondria can flare up. The mitochondria are your inner powerhouses that give you the energy to get through the day enthusiastically and creatively. So I wasn't going to mention this, it's all in the story here, so please go ahead and read the full articles. But when I was young, I was classified anemic all my life, like from birth pretty much. Actually till I met Pete, So for 17 years, I was 17 when I met Pete. All my life I had to take iron supplements, which my mom called steel tablets back in the day. So that was actually also literally summed it up. When I was young, you just had to steel yourself and just pull yourself together, get through the day, but I was always exhausted. And then when I met Pete, and moved to Tasmania, by the way, my whole blood picture changed. I never had anemia anymore for the rest of my life, not even with 6 babies that I breastfed for many years. And so the reason I was anemic, obviously back in the days, was because I was always in fight and flight till I met Pete, and I didn't know any better because that was my childhood. Growing up in Holland in a loving family, but of course behind closed walls, there was trauma going on in the house, the same as with pretty much every household, which put me in fight and flight, and we didn't know anything about this back 60 years ago.
And when our body is in stress mode or fright and flight, we're producing adrenaline, and our body thinks we're running away from danger. So the first thing it does is cut hydrochloric acid production. It doesn't need to digest food when we're running away from a lion or a tiger.
That's right.
So Grada wasn't digesting her food properly. She wasn't producing hydrochloric acid.
Regardless of like all the amount of iron tablets and everything else that I took I had to get my nervous system stabilized, which thankfully happened when I met Pete. And I've never had to take iron tablets since. So restoring your... all right, so you go, Pete.
So there's one essential mineral that we don't get anywhere near enough of, called magnesium.
And there are all kinds of different magnesiums.
That drops you out of fright and flight mode. That drops us out of that stress mode into a nervous system where we can digest our food properly and sleep properly.
It's called the switch, not really, but it actually turns off your nerves, like when you're running on your nerves, or cortisone or adrenaline, by the way, that will also give you brain fog, literally will, because the stress hormones just creates a mist.
Chronic stress, you produce cortisone.
Creates a mist in your brain and you can't think properly, and it's not that you're not smart, you are smart, but you're just being too stressed. So take magnesium, and there are many different kinds of magnesiums. I would say most of them are rubbish, probably, like a lot of them are just cheap fillers.
You're not absorbing.
And then people come to us and say, well, but I'm taking magnesium, but it's not doing the trick. Well, take a good one. This is a really good one, and it's Australian, by the way. So you'll find it inside our store. And I take 5 magnesiums a day. I feel great. So does Pete. We've done it for many years now.
We tell people to build up as much magnesium as the bowel tolerates. Actually, we forgot to put that in the article, but magnesium is essential to drop you out of that.
It's like a switch. It's a cut-off switch. Before you blow all your fuses, magnesium comes in and stops it from happening in your body. And
sometimes the bowel doesn't tolerate it if your bile isn't flowing properly and neutralising the stomach acid. You won't tolerate a lot of magnesium, so you do have to get the digestive system nice and settled to be able to absorb a lot of magnesium as well.
Right, so in our opinion, bile flow is the key that everyone misses, and we missed it ourselves too till about 20 years ago when we studied the biomedical science in Chicago in the US, and so we learned about bile flow. Apparently, in most humans, the bile doesn't flow properly. It becomes very, very sticky, like super sticky. And it's like your plumbing doesn't work. It's like when you go to the toilet and you press, and the water comes back up. That's what happens in your body if your bile isn't flowing properly.
Our liver is one of the first places where we store stored white fat from too many high starch, carbs and sugars, which is the typical Western diet. And that blocks up the bile ducts, so the bile won't flow down the tubes properly, down the ducts properly to digest your fats, neutralise the stomach acid, and...
So you throw some beet flour at it, and it starts to make the bile nice and runny, so it flows again, and literally it unclogs all the piping on the inside. This is also really good for the lymphatic system. You know, when you hear about lymph detox, which of course is really important as well. But where does that start? It starts in the liver, because your liver is 80% lymphatic system, tissue rather.
It's also good for cardiovascular problems, because like high blood pressure and kidney disorders, because if the bile flows, the liver's getting rid of the toxins and it takes the load off the kidneys.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it all ties in together, right? So this is like a magic key. And Pete and I put together a package which many of our clients are very familiar with. It's called the Ultimate Vitality Boost to restore your vitality. And so we recommend that everyone takes beet flow like we do ourselves.
Three times a day. It says one a day on the bottle. You need to take it 3 times a day for it to do any good. Yeah.
Omnizyme, which omni means every. That means every enzyme is in this bottle, pretty much everyone that your body needs.
To help digest every type of food that you eat. And
it breaks down proteins, as well as many of the waste products in the body.
And it starts breaking down the vegetables in the stomach when you take that enzyme mix. Otherwise, the vegetables have to go through into the small intestine where the bacteria break down the veggies.
True. And Omnizyme is another, if you have like, how do I call it? Fluid in your legs, you think your legs are actually too fat, like lots of women think, but it's just fluid, and it's got those little pits in it, which means like your body is holding onto too much water. So you also definitely need enzymes like Omnizyme to help clean that out, and you'll actually find, you'll be surprised because you end up going to the toilet, peeing out so much fluid over the next few days. Then immunosymbiotic is really, really fantastic. That works on the microbiome. And Pete, what's special about this one?
It really restores all the good intestinal bacteria, but it has a capsule that opens in the intestines. It bypasses the acid in the stomach.
So it doesn't get ruined in your stomach, right?
If you have a probiotic and the capsule opens in the stomach, all those bacteria will be sizzled. They'll die because the hydrochloric acid in the stomach is there to kill everything before it goes through and takes up residence. Yeah.
So for many years I was a bit lazy, and I thought, I don't need them because I'm having so much sauerkraut and fermented vegetables and drink all day, every day, which is true. But to my surprise, when I started to take these tablets at night, everything works better, including the bile flow. So it's really important that you take all 4 of those together. And number 4, of course, is iodine. Like iodine, everyone in the whole world needs iodine. Even the government will tell you that if you go to the government website. We all have iodine deficiency. I have a free iodine book that you can download from our website. So please go ahead and read it for yourself. It will change your life.
Needed by the thyroid that sets our metabolism.
It's needed by every cell in the body. Yeah. So if you look at, download this free ebook as well. It's packed with information. In the middle, you see like how it all comes together. Like if you think of 4 legs of the table, like these 2 and that's 4, like, and it keeps the table steady, but it also keeps your moods even, allows you to maximize your brain. And like even at our age, I'm 64 and Pete's 67, we are just as smart as we were smarter, I'd say, in our 40s and in our 20s. I want you to know life gets better all the time, especially when you look after yourself, and it has a compounding effect. So what you put in your body today, it accumulates. Like, so if you give yourself good stuff, of course you're going to reap the benefit of that too. It's like paying it forward. So don't skimp on yourself, because you only have one body, and it's so important that what you give yourself today, it really does build up with interest, because you have a new body every year, like you have a new liver every 6 weeks, and just support your liver and allow it to do what it does best, and then your body can clean itself out. So many people that we've seen over the years, they've come in with like fatty liver disease, which is very, very common, and it's not from alcohol, and they have this like tight feeling under their rib cage, and it just disappears. After 8 weeks, it's gone, because everything starts to work better.
Caleb and I do what we call a full health audit, so we really look under the bonnet and find where your cells aren't or are making energy, and
that's right.
And in areas where they aren't, we can recommend things to bring yourself back into balance, so you start making energy properly, and then the brain, which takes 25% of that energy, will function
That's right.
a lot better.
It's really important, and it's like gives your body a major overhaul. But most of the time, people don't have to like do a huge amount of money or work even to change their diet. We just tweak it a bit. So it's actually way easier than you think. So don't be put off by a sense of like, oh, stress or overwhelm, I haven't got time or money to do that. Because Peter and Caleb take you by the hand and they make it very easy. So I just want to finish with a funny story of a woman who had such, bad brain fog. And she had a restaurant and children, and she was a busy woman, and she actually put chemicals in the coffee machine, closed it down, closed everything else down, and then she had to go to a function. So
not such a funny story.
She forgot she put chemicals. She thought, oh, I really need a coffee, I really need a coffee. So she made herself a coffee and forgotten that it was actually full of chemicals. And she already had brain fog, and after that, it really knocked her around. So when she realized she had done, so she came and she saw Caleb at this time, and Caleb gave her a healing session, which we also do, because Peter and I and Caleb, we do a mixture of everything that you've ever dreamt of, right? We've studied it over the years. So with energy medicine, Caleb was able to clear all those toxins from her body, and she instantly felt it go from her tummy and from her head, and she was clear again. So and then also, of course, she had to support her body with the tweaks that Caleb suggested, and she's going really, really well today. So she's still alive. So toxins can be neutralized during a healing session, and we do that very easily and quickly. We've done it for many years. There's no woo-woo about it. People think it's woo-woo, but it's not. And woo-woo is just another word, by the way, for source, right? And source means the universe, which is you. You become more resourceful. So please go ahead and check out what we offer on the website. Download all our free ebooks. Our online shop is always open. We have so many articles on the website. You can spend days reading it and educate yourself. You can send us an email, ask us questions. We're still just as passionate as we were when we started in 1999, which is already how long the business has been open. And also come and see us in our beautiful eatery or cafe, which is open Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So please come and book a table and sit here in this beautiful environment. I'll just show you what it looks like here. We're sitting here now, so you can see behind me. But if I turn the camera around, then you see how gorgeous it is. We're sitting right in the forest, which is right on our doorstep. All right, back to Peter and me. So we're just here to support you in every way, and we want people to feel better from all the ills that actually they don't have to suffer. And at the same time, we know how bad that feels because we've been there before. Thank you for tuning in. If you do have any questions, let us know. Our receptionist, our friendly team is here to help you. So you can ring us and chat to our receptionist as well.
Have a good week.
We appreciate you being in our community. Bye for now.
Bye.